All right, welcome back to another Western State Coaches Show. This week I'm joined with head wrestling coach Miles Van Hee. Miles, thanks for being here.
Garrett, thanks for having me.
Well, last night you kicked off the season with the Crimson Slate duel, inter-squad scrimmage. Talk a little bit about how the guys did last night.
Yeah, the staff, we felt like they wrestled really well. You know, it's tough when you spend all preseason competing against one another, training with each other. You know, kind of know each other's tendencies, tactics, and strategies there. And so it's tough to when you take it out in front of the crowd against someone that you see in every day. But it was in a different environment. You know, get them in that environment underneath the light in front of the crowd, have it officiated, and we felt like they went after each other and really opened up and showcased their talents. I thought they did a good job.
So it's a much different team than in years past. A lot of graduating seniors last year. Talk a little bit about the young team this year and who you're looking at to step up and fill those roles.
Yeah, so last year, we graduated 4 of the 5 All-Americans, so we're returning All-American Corbin Bennett's. However, Corbin did graduate, and he's going to be enrolling in a master's program this spring, so we won't see Corbin until, for the second part of the semester. And, it's good to have Corbin back as a leadership role and, of course, a national runner-up at 141. And we also returned 2 national qualifiers and two-time national qualifiers. Zach Shank at 133. He's he'll be a junior this year, redshirt junior, and then a redshirt senior in Austin Harris at 174, maybe 165s. We'll kind of see where he falls. So that's kind of our returning of guys with some experience that's been in the lineup with some varsity experience at the national level. So you're going to see a lot of new faces this year when it comes to guys that are not in the lineup, but right now returning technically at 125s in Trenton Pyatt from Olathe as a true freshman last year. You'll probably see him again, or we got a really tough transfer from Western Wyoming and Ronnie Wardley, and those two are really going to make each other pretty tough. So you may, we'll see kind of what happens there, but right now, Trent's returning varsity wrestlers there, as well as at 157, Sean Byriger from Delnor as a redshirt freshman last year, had some varsity experience and some varsity time. And so, so there's with some experience, those guys will also be returning. Outside of that, there's about 5 other weights with some new faces. You saw maybe at the upper weight or heavyweight, Mick Doherty. He's a transfer out of Oregon State, and his dad played football here at Western, and he and I went to school together. And so now we recruited Mick 3 years ago, and he ended up transferring here, and so he's a Mountaineer now, and so we're excited to see what he can bring to the table. Along with that other 125-pounder transfer from Western Wyoming. And then another transfer that came in Ben Price. Ben Price was on a 2-year mission, and now he's coming back, and he'll be looking at 197s possibly. And David Trainer, he wrestled last night. That's a redshirt freshman for us. So 184s, what you saw last night were Jaden Oliarnik and another true freshman, Connor Schmidt, go at it, and it was pretty competitive. And we'll kind of see what happens there. And 165, you saw Travis Bradford, who you saw some part-time wrestling at 165s last year, wrestling Brandon Supernall, a pretty salty wrestler out of Doherty High School that we redshirted last year. So 149s and 157s is kind of, we have some returning wrestlers coming in. Tyler Adams beat Ryan Pello. Those guys going to be going back and forth. Tyler Adams has been on the program for a while to California in his 5th year as a senior. And then last night, Ian Steen, bumped up to one from wrestling 149s last year and wrestling 157s, and had a good match with Sean Byriger. So you got a lot of new faces that haven't been quite in the lineup all the time as varsity, but they're scrappy. They're scrappy guys, and we have some true freshman red shirts that got some experience last night wrestling in the inner squad. That you give them a little bit of time, and then through the process, they're going to kind of be right in the mix of it as well.
Well, last night was the first time fans got to see the new team. We won't see them again until January at the Tracy Bora Duels. Talk a little bit about your schedule and the upcoming tournaments that you'll see on the road.
So this Saturday we're going to the Cowboy Open. It's a tournament that we haven't been to in the last couple of years, but it's a very solid tournament. Around 20 teams will be there. It's a great tournament where they have two divisions there. They have a younger division in the amateur division, which is basically the freshmen and sophomores, and then we have the elite division, which is basically the juniors and the seniors. And so that'd be a really good tournament for us to showcase our talents, kind of give us a gauge of kind of where the wrestlers will be at that time. And then we'll come back next week, and we got the Mesa Open. We'll send some guys to the Colorado Mesa Open. I'm not sure if we'll send our entire team there or not. And then right before the Thanksgiving break, we'll head out to the Nebraska Kearney Open. It's a great tournament as well. It's very similar to the Cowboy Open. It's two divisions. You've got the younger, the amateur and elite division there as well. Going into right before the break, we have two more tournaments we'll be looking into in the Fort Hays State Open, Fort Hays University Open, and then also the Midwest Classic in Indianapolis, Indiana.
All right, well, Miles, thanks for joining us this week on the Western State Coaches Show. For more information on the Western Wrestling program and all things Mountaineer athletics, visit www.gomountaineers.com.